Hello, Flosstube. My name is Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches, and this is my Flosstube update number 259. Today is Saturday, November 26th. For those of you who had Thanksgiving, this past Thursday. Hope you had a good time with family and or friends. And we had a very nice Thanksgiving celebration. Lots of good food and good fun with family and friends, and just a good time all around. So I hope you all did the same, had the same good time. I'm here to talk about my stitching, and we shall get into it. I don't have any haul this week. I don't think. If I do, I've forgotten about it. But I have a few things that I've been working on. But first I want to talk about a little bit about behind me here. You can see this finish that my older sister did. My sister Eve, this is called Christmas at the Burges, and it's a PDF that is available in our Etsy shop, and you can see it there up close. It's a picture of her son and the dog and the cats and the tree falling over and things like that. So, and there's a little poem underneath it that you can personal, and there's also like an alphabet with the PDF, so you can personalize it to, for your family or whatever, if it's appropriate. So, and also available on our Etsy shop as a PDF is this picture of the Clauses, and there's Santa Claus in his underwear. Mrs. Claus fixing Santa Claus's pants at 10 minutes to midnight. So this is also available as a PDF on our Etsy shop. So it is now that Thanksgiving is over with. It is Christmas. The Christmas season is full upon us, and I'm wearing this Claus. I don't know if you can see it. Is coming to town shirt, because it's very appropriate, as I will tell you a little bit later. But so I will first talk about my stitching. So let's see. I'm going to work my way up to that. So the first thing, one thing I did a little bit of work on is, and now I've lost. Oh, here it is. The picture of it. So this is, again, the Nativity Berry. I'm working on this small berry by Eric Michaels. And I did just a little bit more on the roof of the stable here. There's something on there. Ugh. So last time I think I was up to about here on the stable. So I've gotten up to the peak, and I'm coming down this side. And I just worked on it a couple of days. This, or maybe just one day since last Saturday. So I still haven't done the family. The faces, and I think Joseph's beard are DMC colors, and last time I worked on it, I hadn't even pulled those colors yet. I just was working with, these are, I don't know, Fancy Floss colors. Gentle Arts, Weeks Dye Works. Yeah. And so I've just been working with those colors. And except I think I did like V5200 for the sheep. I can't remember what color it calls for, but I think I used that for the sheep. I don't know. But so I'm making a little bit more progress. You can see a little bit of Mary's robe. It's kind of came out kind of dark on one side and light on the other, just with a variegation in the way it happened to work out. And I haven't decided on there's a couple of colors for the faces of the Joseph and Mary and the baby. And I know my sister said that with hers, when she tried to do it, she did the slightly darker color for their faces, for their skin, and it didn't really show up with the baby's face, because it's part of it is that the baby is so small, you know, with the halos and everything, it came out kind of the same color. So I'm going to look at those colors in comparison with the halos and see. But I was also thinking that I might like just look into a different face color. You know, skin colors are kind of hard to interpret in cross stitch. To get the right shade, you know, whatever. So I think I'm gonna experiment a little bit with what color I'm gonna use for their face, especially because the little baby Jesus face area is so small. So I think in the picture, you can see they went with a lighter skin color, but you know, like I said, that, you know, Jesus' face is basically just a few stitches. So, well, I need to look into that a little more before I decide what color I'm going to kind of use for that. But that is the Nativity Berry by Erica Michaels. And stitching it 1/1 on 25 count Lugana in, I think the color is steel blue. It's a color from Hobby Lobby. They have this 25 count Lugana in a few colors. They have this blue color. They have I think pearl and another color, but they're basically sort of whitish grayish colors. I think the pearl is a gray, more of a gray color, and then they have a white, I think, something like that. But it's the they're not huge pieces, like 15 by 18, you know. So, and then the other thing I did was I had a very small, very small Thanksgiving star. I debated whether or not to stitch more for Thanksgiving, but it just, you know, I was very tired, very sleepy afterward. So this is the design I made for my brother-in-law. This is the Not Everything Counts. Not everything that can be counted counts, and not everything that counts can be counted. Which is a quote by W.B. Cameron. So you can't see it very well in this because of the way it prints off the printer, but the sheep are going to be white. You know, it's just a white background on this PDF. But I'm going to stitch it on this cloth so the white will stick out, you know. But so there's a peacock there and sheep, and it's a complicated reason why they're there. But anyway, so I started in the corner on the border. So all I have is about 30 stitches out of, like, maybe I think it's 100 or something across. So yeah, I just had the one outside first line of the border. So I worked on that. And this is like, I want to say maybe 32 count linen that I dyed myself. And I have since misplaced the little tag I made for it, so I don't know. But it's pretty good size. It's just that I used the corner of it for something else. So, but it should fit up here because it's not a very huge design. But anyway, so yeah, I made a tiny start on that. I'm trying to finish it as a Christmas present, so I'm hoping I can get a little more work done. And I have a few Christmas things I want to work on in the month of December, which is less than a week away. But I also will have my WIPGO pulls for December to work on. And I meant to bring those out here, and I didn't. But, you know, there's plenty of time to think about that when the time comes. But anyway, so I have, like I said, several things I want to work on in December. And I just haven't solidified in my head what I'm going to work on. But, you know, that remains to be seen. So the other thing I have coming up for December that I've been prepping for is the December Rabbit. I haven't worked any more on the November one since I did it a few weeks ago, but this is the December one. So there's some little, so it's kind of Christmassy looking with the holly berries or evergreen, leaves and the berries and stuff like that. And so I decided to do it on this. This is gray, Murano Carré 32 count gray sort of gingham stripe thing. And I've used this color for one of the other rabbits in this series. But so this is the fabric that I chose for this. And I think the colors that are used in this are going to stand out very nicely on this color. That's more of my December stitching. So then, WIPGO for November, I showed you the one on the balcony was one of the WIPGO pulls, and I did the 10 days on that. And the other one was this A Daily Walk in the Woods, Carol Manning. And last Saturday, I had just started on it. It was the first of the 10 days. And I am working up here. And last Saturday, I did just the one sort of corner of this tree to finish it during when I was working on the video with my sisters, and then also during before my video, I guess, I finished this tree here. And so I'm working on this corner here. And so, like I said, I had finished this tree, and I think I had already done this tree and these two little trees here. This one. So things up from here, like sort of, not this one, I guess. I haven't done this one. But I this and this and this, and this area here, as well as some down here. But and I'll show you in a second after I talk about this. But so I have, since then, I've stitched this and this one here with I just did these little mushrooms last night. And let's see, these are already done. This big tree here. And just now, during the Three Sisters video, I did this tree trunk here, and you'll see in a second. So, so this is the stitching, and I'll explain why it looks very wrinkly in a minute. So this is the tree. I had the one corner to go last week, and so I finished it. By the time I did this video, I had finished this tree. And so I did this one, and I did this one with the bird and the mushrooms, and this big tree here. This one was hard to do because I had to really keep track of, they mirror each other. This side and this side mirror each other, and the tree trunk is also mirrored, and but the leaves of the tree are very very complicated. There's not really exact. Like I said, they mirror each other exactly, but like there's not a discernible real pattern to. They're little sets of three. But there's three this way and there's three that way, and so I had to really keep track of it. Fortunately, it's a PDF. And I have a nice copy of it, and then a very scribbledy, curled up munched up, copy of it. So on this munched up copy, I have like a bunch of, pencil marks, because I've marked off like which of the trees I've done. And also, because the PDF copy that I have, it's hard to tell sometimes, like, what the backstitching colors are. The trees themselves, the symbols on the trees are not hard necessarily, but like, with these little birds, there's backstitching for their beaks, and then like around their bodies or whatever, and then like with these smaller little trees, whatever there's a backstitching, and it's hard to tell sometimes what the color is that it calls for. And so so I've written, and they're like, oh, this is such and such a color, and this is such and such a color, and then like big check marks like I already did this, so that's what I used to sort of on when I was doing this tree, like scribbling, marking off, I already did this one, I did this one, so I could keep track of where I was. But so now I've done the trunk on this one here, and there's just a few globs of leaves there, so that one should go pretty quickly. And then I have these two little tiny trees. They're hard to see here, but these two little guys, and then I'll be done with this corner. So yeah, that's the edge of the design. And like I said, it's oriented wrong. So, but that's the top. So there should be enough there to finish it, And I started this in 2017, I think. And so I wasn't real specific necessarily, or practiced in using the cross-stitch calculator tools, so I think I was going by this pattern. I think had probably a finished size by inches, and I think I was going with that, something like that, probably, when I decided that this piece of fabric would be big enough, good enough. But like I said, I made a mistake and oriented it wrong. I did a center start, and so I probably, in marking the center, got the fabric turned the wrong way. So yeah, but it should fit. Theoretically, it should fit, just very tight. But so I'm hoping that I can if I can finish this tree and the two little trees, and then work my way down here, and so eventually work toward that bottom corner. And the rest of this will have to wait until I don't know when. On this one, I might do, well, there's another like sort of orange tree that goes right here above this, in this corner here. So we'll see. I don't know, but I'm hoping to just, if I can finish this side maybe, or work, finish as much of it as possible. I'm on I think the 7th or 8th day now, I think. I think I had looked at my calendar. It'll be like maybe Tuesday will be the end of the 10 days, and I'll have 2 more days in November to work on whatever. So that's coming along. Now, the reason I am wearing my Claws is Coming to Town shirt, and the reason that this stitching is kind of, you probably can't tell too much, but it's kind of wrinkly and all that, is because I had to wash this. Because I had 2 separate catastrophe incidents this week. On Thanksgiving morning, or I should say Wednesday night into Thursday morning, I had been stitching on this, and I had been thinking about doing a Thanksgiving start on, excuse me, sorry, on this, the Not Everything Counts pattern. And it's not that it has anything necessarily to do with Thanksgiving, the Not Everything Counts thing, but because I am doing it for my brother-in-law for Christmas, I wanted to get a jump start on it, and Thanksgiving Day sounded, like a good idea. So I was, kind of preparing that. I had kind of prepared to do that, but I was going to do it like during the day on Thanksgiving Day. And in the meantime, I had dozed off while stitching on this, and I stitch in my bed, and so I had, like I said, I had dozed off and woke up in the, it was the wee hours of the morning, and I had fallen asleep with my hand like this, and I woke up and there was, pardon me, cat barf in my hand. The cat had thrown up in my hand, and my blanket was kind of right there, and so it was puddled in the blanket, and in my hand, and just dripping down the back of my hand, and I was like, oh my God, and it was a I think it had just happened, because I think that's probably what woke me up. And so, yeah, and so my first thought was, what the heck, this is in my hand. And fortunately, excuse me, right there, kind of in the corner where I stitch, I had napkins and stuff like that. So I was like able to like grab it all with the napkins and the whatever I had there in the corner. But so my hand is like all icky and, But then my second thought was, oh my God, my stitching. Because my stitching was kind of up against my body, and the barf disaster was like my hand. So I looked, and my stitching had gotten splattered, for lack of a better word. So right here and right here were little spots, and I think up here, they're just little spots, and then like over here on the edge there are a couple of spots. So fortunately, my room is right across from the bathroom. And so, and I have a little bottle of Dawn dishwashing liquid. So after I washed my hand, I used a little bit of that. I used some, the water in this, just running the water in the sink, and put a couple of drops of Dawn on there and like sort of scrubbed it in. And fortunately, since this is just like, white Ada, I didn't have to worry about color fastness. And this is DMC thread. It's all DMC, so it's all color fast. So, yeah, so I had to, spot clean those little spots. And then, I just, soaked it all and rinsed it all. So, yeah. So fortunately, yeah. So I just set it out to dry. I set it on the ironing board, here to dry. I rolled it in a towel to absorb, whatever moisture, while I, did wash my hands and did other things, and then set it out, and it dried pretty quickly, But so in the meantime, I did this stitching. But so yeah, that was my Thanksgiving morning rude awakening. And then so that was Thanksgiving, and last night I was looking for this ecru thread, because I knew I had ecru on a bobbin in one of my projects that I, because I had seen it recently. I knew it was on one of my WIPGO projects. and I had hoped that I had taken it out, but I had not. So I was looking in my threads that I have taken out of some of my WIPGO things, but it wasn't there. So I thought, well, it's got to be in one of my WIPGO projects from before, and I have them all in a one of those cloth bin boxes, you know, and I had it in the closet so that the cats would stay out of it. And so again, it was in the wee hours of the morning when I was on this wild tear because I wanted to finish this tree, and all it was lacking was these little mushrooms down here. And so so I thought, well, the only way I'm going to find that that thread is if it's in that bin. So I got up and I was getting the bin out and I put it on the bed, and as I turned around, my other cat, he's had some kind of an itching problem, and he's been to the vet a couple times, and we were trying to get to the bottom of it. I did a food allergy test thing, and he's allergic to chicken, and chicken is in everything. It's hard, kind of hard to find, but so I've got a couple, a dry food and a canned food that don't have chicken, and so we've been doing that. But he scratches all the time, so something is irritating him. He's always scratching and licking it, so he has little sores sometimes. He gets little sores on his body where he bites at himself or scratches at himself, and I try to sort of calm him down or whatever sometimes. But anyway, so I put the bin down and I turned around, and this is what I saw. He had obviously made himself bleed somewhere, and in all of his licking, whatever, he got it all over his fur, and he just it looked horrible. But I mean, it wasn't as bad as it looks in the picture, but it was just like shocking. It was like, oh my God, what did he do? And so I ran to the bathroom and got some warm water on a washcloth and just wiped him down. And because I knew immediately that he must have torn a scab off and just spread the blood all over himself, I guess. And so when I wiped him down, I was able to clean him up pretty well, and I was looking for an actively bleeding spot on him and couldn't find it. So I think he had just, it's like if you have a scab on your hand or your arm or whatever, and if you accidentally pull that scab off, you'll bleed a little bit. And so I think that's probably what happened, and because of where it was on his side or his tummy or something, that he just, spread it all over himself. But so he looks good. He looks fine today. He's cleaned up, but it was very shocking and very scary. So that was my other cat catastrophe. So each of the cats has done their duty in giving me a heart attack. But he's all better now. So Snug, I've been putting off taking him back to the vet to see what could be wrong with him. I don't know what's going on with him, but so yeah, I think it's a little more urgent. I was have been trying to kind of put it off because it's Christmas time and there's all kinds of things, but I don't know that I can put it off any longer now because it's pretty serious. Anyway, so next Saturday will be the first Saturday of December. So I will be starting on my WIPGO pulls. And of course, I already know what they are because they're just the two that are left. One of them is a Tinymodernist, was a Sal. Maybe that was from 2017. The Daily Walk in the Woods, I don't know if that was 2018 or maybe it was earlier and I just came across it in that year. But anyway, the Santa's House was 2017 or 2018, and it was a Tinymodernist mystery cell like a couple of others that I've done since then. But the Santa's house, you got I think on the first, when you bought it, you got the framework of the house, and I think that there's like like a Christmas, houses and trees and reindeer and stuff like that, snow on the outside of the house. And then with each release, you got like the rooms are, I think, a floor, 2 rooms, whatever. And so, of course, I got all that a long time ago, and I've stitched very little on it since then. So that's one of my WIPGO pulls for December. And the other one is this one called Gray Wolf. It's part of a endangered species booklet that I have. Actually, let me see right here if I've got them. I think I've got at least the Gray Wolf one. Hold on 1 second, please. Talk amongst yourselves while I look for this. I have a packet here that has like all my pictures, print offs of what I've got going on here. So I don't know if I've got, yeah, here it is. Okay. You're in luck. So this is the Tinymodernist Santa's house. It was a 6-part mystery series. So this is the final picture. So I think the first thing I got was this outside picture, and then the framework of the house. And so I think I've done like part of the snowman here and part of these 2 reindeer, I think. And I don't know if I've done this one, but that's about all I've got, and some of the snow. And then I've got the framework of the house, and I think I started on this stove here. I've done a little bit of stove, and I think I've done a little bit of this nutcracker guy over here. But so I'm very behind on this. So I'm hoping that I can get some work done on it. And I think the fabric that it's on is Lugana that I had dyed myself. So we shall see how far I get on that. And then the other one I'm doing for December is this Gray Wolf right here. And this is a Endangered Species by Cross My Heart, this little booklet. And I don't know when I got it, but the copyright is 1988. So this one here, and it's basically, it's full coverage, and it's very pixelated, as you can see here. It's all grays and browns and grays and browns, and at the time I first started it, I had not, thought about doing something like making a working copy that I could mark, and so it's unmarked, the original, but so I made a working copy, and I have with a colored pencil or something tried to mark in what stitches I've done as far as I could tell, and then trying to mark what stitches I need to do. And I think I've worked on it a couple of times, like for Mania or something. But I'm hoping now for WIPGO, to get to concentrate a little more on it. But it's in December when I'm wanting to do a few other things for December. And I think for next year, I want to think about what I'm doing for WIPGO for next year. And I think, like I said last week, that I want to do some FFOing because I've got a pile of things that are stitched but not fully finished, that are finished stitching, where I finished stitching them, but I did not fully finish these projects. So I've got a stack of finished projects, you know. And so I want to fully finish them. I've got a bunch of FFO materials, like, you know, things to finish stuff on. So I'm hoping to put that on my WIPGO board to some degree. And then, but also some of these older, again, these older projects like this, if I, you know, because I know I won't finish it this time around. But hoping to put some of those. And then I have a few things that I've started, like my Rabbit series. I'm thinking maybe I can put some of these on there too, because I've finished I think 3 of the 12, and you know, not the others. So some of them are almost done, but then if I can put them on the WIPGO board. So I think my stitching will have to have fewer days, and the FFOs will only take a day or two. And if I can put fewer days as my goal for this whatever stitching, then I have more time to do more new starts. Because although the WIPGO idea is good, in some ways I feel a little bit oppressed by having to meet those goals, and having, because my goals were 10 days long, you know, having to put in so many days that I'm you know, buying something and going, oh, I want to start that, but I can't because I have to do this, you know. And part of it is me too, because if I just said, okay, I'm going to do so many, maybe I'll make my goal so many hours. So, you know, if I can achieve so many hours by doing stitching 2 or 3 days or something like that, then maybe I can, you know, meet the goal sooner and then have more time to do something else. We'll see. So I have to do some real concentrated thinking and deciding about my WIPGO board for next year. So some people already have theirs set up, and that's really great, but I haven't even thought that far ahead yet, because I'm still trying to meet the goal for November. But so yeah, so December is gonna be difficult to meet my goal and do my some other new stitching or whatever, and then, you know, all the Christmas festivities or whatever's going on. And I've got a concert coming up on the 6th, and a couple of, you know, church-related Christmas parties going on, and, you know, and things like that. And so, I don't want to be stressed for Christmas, you know, but at the same time, there's things I want to do, and, you know, so yeah, we'll see. There was a poem that I had somewhere. I have it somewhere. But the idea is basically like, you know, it says something like, you know, I'll attend to my little gifts of love early this year. So that I can, basically the idea is, you know, whatever I'm going to do, I want to do early, and do it, you know, so that I can enjoy Christmas, you know. And that's kind of my goal each year, so that I'm not like, you know, doing things at midnight the night before Christmas or whatever, to try to get things done early so that I can enjoy, you know, family being together and things like that, and doing whatever, and not be stressing about trying to get things done for Christmas. So I don't know. The other thing I wanted to mention is that on the Three Sisters Creative videos, Sticks and Strings, I want you to check those out, and because my sisters and I are coming up on our 100th episode of the Sticks and Strings videos. And it just so happens that the video that we will release on the 25th of December will be our 100th episode. So we are doing a giveaway, and on the video that will come out on Sunday, we're doing 3 items basically. My younger sister Naomi is doing a couple of items for her giveaway. I've got a couple of items for my giveaway, and then my sister Eve is doing a couple of items for her part of the giveaway. So there's 3 basic packages, I guess you could call them, and you can enter to win either one of the 3 or all of the 3 or whatever. And you can only win one, but you can enter, all 3 of them, whatever, if you want. So the details of how to do that are on that video, and we are accepting entries and requests for those items, basically the whole month of December till the 21st, I think, is when we're going to close the entries, and then choose the winners on the 22nd, which is the Thursday, I guess, because that's when we're going to be filming our December 25th video. So you have until the 21st to look at those items and like them. And so tell your friends, be a subscriber, be over 18 so you can give us your address and all that. And we will send those items anywhere in the world, I think, is the current thinking. We look forward to celebrating that with y'all, and that will be, like I said, the Sticks and Strings video. Check that out this coming Sunday, and you can find out, like I said, what we're offering, how to enter, all that kind of thing. So I think that is all I've got this week. So keep your cats safe, keep your stitching safe, and so I will see you next week. Until then, thanks for watching, and just keep stitching and have fun stitching. All right, so I will see you next week. Bye.